I love hot tea. Thank you for joining me. I had a change of plans. I came down to Reading and I am checking out this cute little restaurant here called I'm putting my computer, the Hilltop Diner. Look at how cute this is. Oh my gosh. I love the colors. I love vibes. Anyways, today I wanted to talk about the future of our world, Satan's new world order versus Inanna's golden age. This world that we are in, this reality, can either be a hell on earth, we can continue down the path that we have been going down and towards this new world order, or we can slam on the brakes and create a paradise on earth and go with Inanna. Woohoo! Doesn't that sound like a way better option? Yeah. If we continue just to do all of the things that we're doing, we're not going to see different results because we ultimately manifest our reality. So if we are choosing to do evil, then that's what's going to be manifest all around us, right? And there are plenty of dark souls out there that are more than happy to torture humans for what they do, right? Like you doing evil, and it's not that there aren't any consequences for that. There are entities ready for you to do that evil so that they can prey on it, can torture you or whatever they're doing. So we are constantly giving these programming from society to make us be the worst versions of ourselves possible, to continue down the path of corruption so that we, in our actions, fuel this totalitarian, anti-human new world order that they want for us, right? They want to ultimately treat us like many humans fund others to treat animals, right? Like animals locked in pens, right? Like we aren't allowed to freely travel. We have an illusion of free travel, right? People think that they're allowed to go anywhere that well, not most people. I guess the truth is, at this point, we all know that. But the average Joe thinks that they are able to just travel the globe, right? We don't live on a globe. But the thing is, we are exactly like those animals in an enclosed space, right? And these animals are being used like machines. Like our energy is being constantly used and eat us. And not only that, but it's like producing things for them, which really they own everything, so they don't actually need us to be doing all these, especially that could be easily replaced with robots. They don't actually need us to be doing this. They put us in this situation to crush us down. They could easily turn the factory jobs into robots and humans can have a paradise, but then the human wouldn't be distracted by that 9 to 5 and all of that stuff that goes along with it. And just like the animals being used for their goods and having, bees go and collect all of their honey and then go and steal it, like you go and you do all this work to collect money, to collect supplies, and then the government comes and takes it from you. Like, do you like to pay taxes? Personally, I am very against taxes. Taxation is theft. When I used to work in the system back in the day, we obviously get paychecks, right? And before you even get to hold that paycheck in your hand, there's been money taken out from the government. That is crap. They didn't do anything for that money like I did, and I should actually get if I wanted to pay. They say, oh, well, who's gonna fund our roads? And it's like, if back in the day before all of this, it's like if people would just do these things, right? Like maybe you have the farming equipment, I don't know, whatever, the equipment to fix the road or whatever, and you would go and take care of the road and just do it, right? And if other people wanted to help with that benefit, then it's like, okay, then you can take the donations and do it, but it shouldn't be a forced thing. And especially with taxes being used for absolute evil, child abuse, and even abortion and stuff, taxation is something I have really big issue with, and it won't be a thing in the golden age. The two the two realities that are being proposed that are possible, really. I mean, it's either one way or the other, right? Like, we're either heading towards a hell on earth or headed towards a paradise. And look around, we're headed towards the hell on earth. What was I trying to say? These the powers that be know that things are changing or waking up, and they talk about like a new age, like a new age, because we're waking up, right? So things have to change. It's not like we're all of these truthers go back to sleep, right? So something has to change. A new type of order to the world has to come, and whether that order is something good or pro-human or anti-human, that's what our actions are going to turn up. So hi Canada Spaceman, how's it going? Bob's here. Two Bobs, Bob Wiles and Bobby Bright. Welcome and thanks for joining. The New World Order, of course, of Satan is the totalitarian, mark of the beast, your digital currency, your social score. If you step out of line, there goes your fake money that didn't actually exist because it was just computer digits, right? Like, they control absolutely everything, and it's obviously even worse than what we have now. So what I'm proposing, the golden age, is the complete opposite, where humans are free to do what your soul came here to do. You're not come here to work a 9 to 5. Like, you actually think that your soul made a conscious decision to come into this world to solely be crushed down and deceived and turned to a clown on this hamster wheel your whole life? Like, that's not life. That's living. That is, I don't even know what word to put on it, because that's not an existence. And it's so sad to know how many of our ancestors have lived these lives, lived and died in ignorance, in this slavery, right? Not people, it's like, the powers that be want us to focus on slavery of the past as one of the ways to divide and conquer us, obviously, based on race and other things. But I'm not trying to say that there wasn't slavery. Like, there's been slavery in the past, and that is an issue. But right now, we are all being slaves, and it doesn't matter what race you are. Like, we're all, as a human species, enslaved together, and that's what we need to focus on to get out of that enslavement, right? And because we're waking up, because we're finally at a point where, like, hey, there's something wrong, because we're trying to join together in, something about it, throwing all of these different psyops to try to pacify us, right? With the Q psyop saying, oh, don't worry, sit back and trust the plan, everything's taken care of. The military's going out and arresting and executing inverts. Like, no, that is a show put on to pacify us. They're also doing all the divide and conquer, not just race, but I said before, mask, non-mask, jab, all of these, everything that they can get us to fight for. Like, they have humans fighting over, like, what comes to mind, I guess, is the Browns versus the Steelers. I'm from Ohio, so it was kind of like the first. There's like people genuinely like dislike her based on something that they see on a game that's completely rigged that they see on television. It's like crazy how easily we are divided. And it's so sad that people put so much effort and investment really into these shows that you see on TV. And I don't want to get on the topic for an extended period of time, but I do want to mention that not only are the sports rigged, but they're dominated by inverted clowns, right? Like, so when you are watching the NBA, the NFL, the major baseball league, or Major League Baseball, MLB, I guess, when they're presented to you as males, they're actually females. And on the flip side, when you're watching the WNBA or any of the female, those are actually dudes. And people don't understand how you can have such big girls, right? These basketball players and linebackers and all this stuff. But we have to remember that we're not dealing with real 100% humans. They're human hybrids. They're descendants of giants, and they have, the NBA. Let's just talk about one specific thing, but it's the same for all of them, right? Like at one point in time, the NBA was created. It wasn't like it hasn't always been, right? And from that time, it was created, like it was controlled from the beginning. So it's a club that nobody gets in unless they're going by the rules. It's completely controlled. There's not any. They want to give us this illusion like you're a real human and you're a normal male, and if you're good enough, you can go on and play in the NBA and NFL. Like they want to give you these dreams, and they'll give us inverts with these backstories to promote this delusion. And then you could be the best basketball player that the world's ever seen, but if you're a normal human, then it's like, sorry, we're not going to have you in here. Like you're going to get turned away, or they're not going to let you in. So these things are all controlled and dominated by inverts, and that's something we will get into in the future. But these inverted clowns are united in their vision of the future, to the extent like they're going along with Satan's plan, right? Like the default New World Order agenda, and they're all united in that. And then you have on the side all of the truthers that are waking up, and so many are still divided and like religion, right? Like there's so many people that wouldn't get on board with the golden age that I'm preaching because it doesn't align with their specific man-made religion, right? So even in the truther community, we have that are not united at all. How can we actually manifest a future or anything, right? If you have two people and you're like, let's manifest something, and they don't have the same idea, like it's probably gonna just end up in chaos. It's like it's not going to come to fruition in any really organized way if people aren't united, right? So in the same manner, we have to have this same vision for the future, and the golden age is something for all humans and the animals to be free, right? I don't know why we can't agree with that. Like, I don't know why humans don't want to be free, but some humans would rather stay in the New World Order and go down that line rather than, change their actions and be better. So anyways, the point is that we have to be on the same page to manifest a better world. And hey Akshar, how's it going? Like I said, I had to change my plans today, so I'm not sure how long I'll be able to stay on, but I do want to make more videos of Golden Age, answering any questions that you guys have. Like I was saying, your soul didn't come here to work at 9 to 5, and different souls have different passions and desires. And if you want to, be an artist, we have resources under the dome that we can use in a way that helps humans, right? Like there's plenty of resources so that we can help encourage these dreams and people to do what they came here to do. And that's something that I want to make sure happens during the future. Free travel, advanced technology that actually is pro-human, that's not hurting us and blasting us with all of these harmful frequencies. Basically taking the best aspects of, I was going to say the best aspects of the world we have now, and then I'm like, are there best aspects? But there are, the concept of fast food and stuff. All of these things can be veganized, and we can have the convenience and the stuff that we all, have grown accustomed to in the golden age to make the world better. So I'm pretty excited about that. And one of the things that has recently been revealed to me is actually that, you guys already know, I'm pointing over here because you see the little checkerboard / chessboard floor, which is kind of cute that I, just was recently revealed to me, some information about chess and how important chess is, and how it is actually a key that, once I start teaching chess, I'm going to unlock this key to a whole new community of people and wake them up through the game of chess. It's really exciting to know that. So in the future, I'm going to be doing more chess videos, but for today, I wanted to give you what I had written on my phone. My phone died. That's a bummer. Oh no. Well, it'll have to wait because, anyways, I'm thinking I might talk about it on Wednesday, so we will see. But you see the same type of checkerboard. I call it a checkerboard because it's really not. Like, they're two completely different games. Checkers like what you play with. Well, I don't even want to say that because I think you should play chess with children. But you know what I'm saying? Checkers like what little kids play when they don't. But chess, that you actually have to sit and think ahead and use tactics, use a strategy, and it's a the Masonic black and white checkerboard. Like, it's a integral part of our reality, and it's not just the history that we're told is that chess was invented in this cycle, but the reality is that it is an extremely ancient game, and it's like war in a game board. So that's really fun, especially if you're into into battle games. And yeah, if you guys are online, you have a phone that can get apps. There's a chess online app that you can play people from all over the world and get better. And I am going to teach you in the future how, because the all of the mainstream, not only the grandmasters, but all of the stuff that we are taught to play chess, like, they teach us how to do really stupid and unwise clown moves, right? They teach us to play clown chess, just like they teach every aspect. It's like they want to, it's inverted, and it's getting us to be clowns. Like, the people that think that they're the best at chess are doing the clown moves. The people that think that they are, these really smart rocket scientists or whatever, it's like, you are a rocket scientist, and rockets are, kind of a joke, aren't they? Like, the outer space isn't real. The smartest people in the world that are labeled as that are actually the inversion of that. So at every yeah, thank you. Well, I already ate, so thank you. Okay. It is really cute. It is a kiddie-friendly establishment. There's kids all around, so that makes me really happy. Gives me the baby fever. This is called a Hilltop Diner in Reading. So yes, let me get into some other things. I wanted to answer some of the questions about myself that people had, and I have a list here, but I want to answer them, and I'll probably save some of the questions for on Wednesday, because I'd like to actually get into more details and and answer any other questions that come from that. But one of the things that somebody wanted me to talk about was actually fasting, so let's do that really quick. Obviously, there's different types of fasting. They have intermittent fasting, dry fasting, juice fasting, mono fruit fasting. I promote dry fasting. I do a 24-hour group dry fast every week for the Sabbath. And that's what I encourage people to do, because at the end of the day, like, it's the most effective. So why waste your time, like, doing a water fast for a few weeks when you could dry fast for like a few days and have the same amount, the same effects in a shorter amount of time, just with a little bit more suffering, really. But anyways, that is the type of fasting that I promote. And when your body doesn't have anything, like every time you put something into your body has to process that, right? And most people are just constantly feasting instead of having a balance between fasting and feasting. So when you're constantly putting in, your body is constantly trying to deal with what you're putting in, process that, and never actually getting to clear out the system and detox. You need to have this balance of fasting and feasting, where you feast with the most pure of foods, right? Preferably raw herb and fruit bearing seed, non-GMO, organic, like as pure fruit as you can. And I mean, you don't have to count calories. You don't have to, like, you're not going to get fat off of eating grapes. Like, so having this time of fast or feasting and then balancing that out with fasting to allow your body to clear out. And once you go through certain stages of fasting, your body will actually get to this stage called autophagy, and it's going to start to actually clean out your cells. Like your body's not chomping on new food that you're putting in. It's starting to actually clean house, and you can feel a lot of different aches and pains you can have. I've read, there's a few different dry fasting groups on Facebook, but I've read of people talking about how in the past they had dental work done with laughing gas, and through the dry fasting process, like it brought some of these other issues out that they had in the past. They were talking about people, that had done LSD and that coming out too. So all of these different things that you've done in your past, being stored up in your body, you need to get ready to release those things. And it's kind of also the same thing with the demonic attachments, right? When we were reading, when I was talking about the immortality of the soul, reading from the Tatian writings, they're talking about how your soul is combined with these demons through things that you do, and you need to take those binds away, right? It's like you need a whole detoxing process where you're not only getting rid of the physical gunk and junk that you've been putting in, but also these spiritual and emotional and mental attachments as well. So fasting is going to bring up a lot of these things, but it's going to help ultimately heal your mind, body, and soul. No matter where you are in your journey, you can start fasting. Even if you're not vegan yet, you can start to do a weekly dry fast with me on Friday nights, starting around sundown. If you have to start it a little bit earlier because of whatever reason, that's fine. But the point is to do a 24-hour dry fast for the Sabbath, and the benefits are cumulative. So it adds up over time. If you just do it one day a week, it is going to show benefits over the long run, in the long run. Yeah. So anyways, I think that is pretty much the only thing about fasting. And well, I guess another thing to mention is that the earth, when Mother Earth is producing all of this fruit and veg for us, that is the natural time to feast. And then when, during the winter, that is the natural time to fast, right? There's less being produced by the earth, so you eat less. It's just like getting more in line with nature and in sync with these things, not just how and what we eat. In the future, I also want to talk about sex and the proper context of sex and sex magic and all of that fun stuff. But there's natural cycles to life, right? And this is another something that you can pin your hat on, I guess, a little bit. But people want to try to say that this is all evolved, that this reality came into existence by chance with no creator, with some chance big bang. It's like there's different ecosystems and different cycles, and the sun and the moon are like are nature's timepiece, right? Like, so once you actually start to study nature, all of their psyops start to fall apart. It's like evolution is fake, global earth is fake. What's the other one that the other big anyways, I lost my train of thought. But anyways, studying reality shows us the truth that it was intelligently designed, right? There is a creator for sure, and um, that is a whole other topic as well to get into in the future of the creator and how our creator has been demonized and blamed for all of the evil that happens here. And Gnostics go into well, some Gnostics. There are a lot of different sects of Gnostics. Pretty much from the beginning, there have been different groups that label themselves as Gnostics because gnosis just means like knowledge of spiritual mysteries. So anybody can claim that they have gnosis, that they are a Gnostic, and two people can be claiming that they have knowledge and also have contradicting ideas. And that's what you'll find if you actually go and start to study some of the Gnostic writings and stuff. The mainstream will completely demonize our creator and say that this is like an evil, like a soul trap, or like very negative views on existence, really. And they have a completely opposite view than I do, but we both claim to be Gnostics. So anyways, I don't even know how I got off onto that tangent. But I am pro Yah and this reality and continuing it existing, and pushing for the golden age is part of that. Like Sophia is all physical matter. She is every one of us. So every amount of abuse that you have gone through, every amount of abuse that I have gone through, every amount of abuse that every human in this room, every human in the world, not just humans, but animals and all of the plant, like all of the abuse is ultimately not only being felt by the individual, but also by her, because she is a physical matter. This physical vessel that we are in, like, is comprised of her. So it's like, if I pinch myself, like, she's feeling the pain that she goes through with me, and she needs a break from this. Like, this is a hell for her. And I don't want to get into really depressing topics about the potential of the mother's soul literally ending and this physical existence ceasing to exist, because it's extremely depressing to think about that. Like, this reality gives souls reason to continue existing, and without it, like, I don't want to think of the future, of what the future holds. Like, yeah, this world can be a nightmare, but at least, during the golden age, we get a time where we can enjoy it, and there's a purpose for it, right? There's a bigger picture to why there's the cycles, and why the corruption is allowed, why the free will is allowed. And if Sophia doesn't get a golden age, if there's not a light at the end of the tunnel for her, then there's a chance that she is going to stop, and I'm against that. So, Canada Spaceman, I am not anybody's internet girlfriend or real life girlfriend. I actually wanted to answer one of these questions that I had. I'm scanning the live chat here. Hey Dark Knight, how's it going? Says, hello Queen, looking lovely as always. Thank you. One of the questions that I get often is, what is my dream guy? And I have answered it before, but I wanted to answer it again for anybody new. I don't have like when it comes to sitting here and fluttering your eyes about some guy with like, a certain color hair or a certain color eyes, or, any of these things. Like, that's not what I focus on, because I mean, ultimately, your physical appearance can not only change, right? Like someone who might not be very attractive, if they would purify their diet and actually eat the right things, their appearance can completely change. So like, that's one thing. And an appearance is not, it's shallow. It's shallow. And it's, someone is going to eventually get old and their hair is not going to be that color anymore. And like, it's not something that I'm focused on. My focus is on the actual soul inside of the vessel, and what that soul is like. Obviously, like, I want a man who is vegan, and I would rather have a guy that's vegan because it's the right thing to do, not because he's being forced by me to do it. Like, I want a man who actually has values and integrity, and, if he sees a dog getting beat up, he's gonna go and at least say something, in the same manner that it would be if it's a cow. Like that's just something that I want for my mate, and I want that kind of mentality, those values to be instilled in my children. So I'm looking ultimately for someone who is going to not only jive with me, but it's like I want to be a mom, and I want to find a guy that's going to be a good dad. So obviously, you have to want to have kids, because there's no way that I will be feeling like I lived a complete and fulfilled life if I don't get to be a mom someday. So that's just, if you don't want kids, sorry, but anyways. Being a flat earther, knowing the truth of our reality, these things are important, and anybody can wake up. So it's not a specific guy that I'm looking for. It could potentially be anybody. Like, I don't really have a certain type. I found guys of all different types attractive, all different races. Like, it's all different personalities too. Like, there's not one specific thing that it's like the guy has to be this, as far as any of these other things, besides for the beliefs and the veganism and just those values and morals, I guess, is the real thing. And really anybody can have these things. So yeah, I am looking forward to the golden age, when it is the appropriate time for dating. Like I was saying before, I'm not even nobody is fully awake yet, and I would really like to be my ideal self, and then try to go into a relationship, actually being the the person that aligns with my soul, so that I am what I am, right? I am that I am. So yeah, I've already been in a relationship with a truther, and that didn't work because I wasn't fully awake yet. I just don't want to rush into anything, and like it's really distracting, right? Being in a relationship and all of the fun that comes along with that. It's like there's literally a war going on all around us, and sitting down and having all that kind of fun and getting distracted, while I agree that there is a need in humans in general to have companionship, and it's not good for man to be alone. The Bible verse that talks about God. That's a whole nother story too, because there's some confusion about God creating humans, and the powers that be have pushed to many that God created Adam and Eve as one, like some sort of hermaphrodite, like abomination creature. And they try to say, oh well, this is the religion of the inverts, this to try to return to supposed divine androgen balance. Like, this is how they present it, but at the end of the day, that's not what it is. Like, first of all, humans are not God's first creation. This isn't his. I was gonna say it's not his first rodeo, but rodeos aren't vegan. This is not his first time around the block. Okay, like humans, even all of, if you might not want to admit that there are reptilians like dragons and Nakash and Jinn, whatever, but there are cows, there are sheep, there are other species that were created before humans, and they are all either male or female. There's not any. God doesn't create abomination creatures. Like, he is against this, and they promote this as a defense mechanism, because obviously they can't just flat out say, oh well, they're worshiping Satan, right? And oh well, Satan likes to put a dress on and try to seduce boys, right? Like, they can't outright actually say what the truth of the situation is. So they say, oh well, we're trying to find balance, the divine androgen, and all of this, like, confusion as a cover-up. So these are things I wanted to get into more in the future, but I'm not sure what's going on here. they're definitely trying to confuse us more and more. And I've seen people in the community trying to blame Baphomet, blame Inanna, blame Lucifer, blame Moloch or Baal or every other entity besides for Satan, right? Like Satan's sitting there like pointing at everybody else and basically saying, not me, right? Like he's not taking the credit for it. And even further, he is actually demonizing his enemies. That's what Satan's doing. Like he is the one that's promoting all of this. Like he is all of the main truther channels with all of the biggest followings, right? So they're feeding these ideas, these theories of Baphomet and this Adam and Eve being a hermaphrodite type thing into the truther community, and a lot of people are believing it and not realizing that Satan is the one that's responsible. His minions are the ones responsible, and they, even the Masons, like the Masons get blamed for everything basically, but Masons is just one group that the inverts have infiltrated, and not all inverts are Masons. So to say it's only the Masons leaves out literally all the other inverts that are not considered Masons. And it's with any other group, right? Like you can say with the Jesuits or anything that they blame, right? Each of these groups has been infiltrated and corrupted, but at the end of the day, what is to blame is the inverts, like these abominations to God. And I mean, even further at the end of the day, they are not even the ones that are like, they're not even in control of themselves. They are demon possessed flesh puppets. So these demons can use them. Like there is their own soul there that could potentially fight back, but a lot of times they aren't fighting back. And they even tell us, I think it was like Beyonce that was saying that they go on stage and this thing comes over them, right? And they basically give their power to this legion of demons and are able to get talents and other wisdom. I don't know, wisdom. Facts, I guess. I don't want to say wisdom necessarily, but yeah, I mean the demons will offer a lot of different things in order that they can seduce you into their relationships, right? These binds that we're creating by the things that we are doing is just like a relationship, like between me and you. We have a relationship. We can either do things that strengthens the relationship, or we can do things that weakens it, right? It's the same with these demons. They are souls too, and you can feed into that connection, or you can cut it off. So Celtic Meltdown says demonic possession can be eliminated by praying the rosary and tapping into the Sophia. They can't stand her and are terrified of her energy. She literally destroys them. Yes, see, Sophia is against Satan, and they demonize her. By demonizing these entities that are against Satan, they, the average human, or even not even the average human, average truther, right? They see Baphomet being blamed, and then they get the truth that comes along that, oh well, Baphomet's an occult symbol for Sophia, and then they blame Sophia for this when she actually stands against this. She is seeking wisdom, so she does allow this evil to happen. And the fact that she is seeking wisdom, these dark souls will try to say, oh well, we're worshiping Sophia because we're giving her what she wants, as they sodomize a little boy, because they think, well, I mean, there is like, I don't want to say wisdom as in a positive thing. It's dark wisdom, right? Like there's some dark wisdom that comes when this little boy is getting sodomized, and the lifestyle that he will live after that abuse will happen is going to be a lot different than the average human, right? So they make the excuse that they are worshiping Sophia because they are providing the darkness that balances out the light that the average person is doing, the boring, innocent little good side, and they're doing the evil. So you see how they and it's also the same thing with Inanna. Like, they try to blame Inanna for all of this garbage, and like, it's just constant demonization. And when you actually listen to my message, I'm constantly telling people to purify and trying to wake them up. Like, I stand against Satan, and it's just a classic, demonize your enemy so that people won't even click on her show, right? Like, they won't even give me the time of day because they have fallen programmed to this demonization, when in reality, the one thing that their soul actually needs is to click on my video and hear how to purify. Like, that's the most important thing that you could even learn. Like, you can have all the truths in the world and still, die and experience some horrible after death experience because you didn't purify, you didn't have the actual truth that matters. And if Satan can get everybody to demonize the light bearer, right, the one that's standing in the darkness bearing the light, then they will shun the light and stay in the darkness. So it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I'm constantly attacked. And if you look at the people that are calling me inverted and you investigate them, you will find out that they are projecting completely. I am literally the only transvestigator that has shown you their hips constantly. You can look, like, I don't want to say every video, but honestly, like, I show my hips a lot, okay? Like, all the time. And these other transvestigators don't show anything. Mr. E hasn't showed their face or anything, and people, follow them. But my point is that I have been completely honest, and I have endless footage of, videos and pictures of my biomarkers to show you. If they can convince you that I am one of them, they're going to be laughing, right? They're going to be able to manifest their new world order because you are completely deceived about who I am. And they're laughing because I've been so open about it. It's ridiculous. So, anyways, I would tempted to show my hips now, but I'm kind of like in a booth of this restaurant. And probably, you see my hip? That is beautiful, isn't it? Anyways. All right. So that was one of the other questions. And the last question that I wanted to answer, I'll look through the chat later to see if there's any other questions that I can answer on Wednesday. But I wanted to answer the last question is, why am I in Mount Shasta? Well, technically I'm in Redding right now, but I am at Mount Shasta because Mount Shasta is the meeting place of heaven and earth. Mount Shasta is the root chakra. I've said this many times, if the tree root is corrupt and dark, then the whole tree is going to be affected by that. But if we can all focus on purifying the root, then we can literally change the whole world by just focusing on this one point. So that is why I am here. Unfortunately, the root is really not only surrounded by like cow farms, right? Like they've made it so that slavery is like the most prevalent thing at the root. You can't even drive down the road without seeing cow farms, right? But even further is that the inverts, like so many of the rich and famous, actually have houses, and they are stationed at Mount Shasta because they know how powerful and important this particular place is. They want to point at, Israel or even Hollywood, like all these other places, when in reality, they are focused on the root. So if we also focus on the root and focus on purifying it, then, this battle of light and darkness is happening already, but it is focused at this specific point physically on the earth. So that is why I am here. And I do host vegan get-togethers on Mount Shasta. You can go all the way up Everett Memorial Highway to a little place called Old Ski Bowl. There used to be a ski resort there, so it's a really big open area. And I have a big fire. I bring a big buffet of vegan homemade food. And, we hang out. I love to be able to sit and talk to people about truth or subjects, right? Like, that's what my passion is. I'd rather talk about something that actually has substance. So I definitely encourage everybody to come out to my events. Unlike flat earth conferences, well, I mean, I'm actually a real girl. So there's that, where the flat earth conferences are not run by real humans. And you don't have to pay for it. Like, I don't take people's money, and camping on the mountain is free. So if you can actually just get to Mount Shasta, you can literally meet me for free. You don't have to pay for the food. Like, I'll make you a burger. Like, it'll be really fun, and we'll get to talk. So I encourage you to come out and meet me, and actually see in real life that I am real, and get to know me. And that is something I really want for the future, to make sure that, all the people, especially the ones that are constantly here in my live chat and really good friends with me on Facebook, to be able to come and meet in real life. And so that is something that I want to prioritize in the golden age, like getting a big truther reunion together. I don't know if it's a reunion, because they are never unioned in the beginning to begin with anyways, but all right, let me scan the chat here. Jesse says, I appreciate your transvestigations. Thank you. I appreciate that. The chemtrails are not good. Obviously, they are promoting all sorts of poisoning here at the root, because just like if you are trying to purify, the same can be done by poisoning, right? And it's not just necessarily a spiritual poisoning, but chemical poisoning and everything in between. Trying to, like California in general, they're trying to make it unlivable for real humans. Basically, like, the inverts have like everything, right? They have the money, so no matter how much the taxes cost, no matter how much the sprinkler systems cost, like, they can pay for whatever they need. And the powers that be keep like raising the bar, right? Like, it's not good enough that you have a house now, but now you have to have this multi-$1,000 sprinkling system because of wildfires. I don't know how that sprinkling system is going to work very well against a direct energy weapon, but you have to have it anyways. They are really making it unlivable. There's even rumors of I read the other day about them using the concept of the Texas abortion ban and implementing it in California with guns. Like, you can go after gun, I'm not sure if it was a manufacturer or a dealer or something, but anyways, going after the people that are giving people guns. Like I said, I'm not sure which one specifically it was, but the same concept. And another thing was like getting rid of gas engines and stuff, and making everything electric, and trying to limit us, right? If you have an electric car, your distance of travel is going to be a lot more limited than you have a full tank of gas, right? Because the electric cars, like, they have a lot less mileage to empty than the gasoline engines. And restricting our freedom is what it is all about, right? And they literally have people cheering for the restrictions. How many people that are asleep, were very supportive of the mask mandates or even the jab mandates? Like, they will manipulate humans using fear, using every tactic that they can, right, to trick humans into cheering for their own demise, to trick us into paying taxes that in turn turn into the chemtrails that are spraying us, right? Like, we end up being the joke and paying and doing all of this to ourselves. It's like it's a joke. So yes. Bobby says they want to disarm us. Yes, if we have guns, then we are scary to them. And that's one of the reasons for the Q and Trump psyop, is because all the patriots, the ones that have guns, the ones that could potentially become destabilized, are completely pacified under that, right? Like, some of them were even cheering for martial law under Trump. So they're completely just pacified. And by the way, there's a video of Trump promoting or supporting red flag laws. So there's like a whole list of things that's wrong with this clown, and people are still just like have these blinders on their eyes to think that they are some sort of hero. It's sad. But yeah, I was just talking about this to somebody today, and that puppet has so much of the people's power that if they they have a meme going around with like the bat symbol getting shot up in the air with Trump's face or whatever, and they're saying the whole world right now. It's like, no, the whole world right now is not like that. Some of us are posting pictures of Trump without a penis. Like, But anyways, so many people are bound to this puppet and basically would just bend right over for a Trump family dynasty taking over the world. I think that it's very likely that they will, use that power to have a comeback of some sort. Like, it obviously anything can happen. I'm not like actually trying to make any predictions, but I'm just saying the fact of the matter is that that puppet has a lot of control over humans, and for them to not continue using it going forward and potentially not, put Trump into power when they want to do more crazy things. Like, I just think it would be a waste of the power. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really focused on exposing Trump. Like, I'm not pro Biden either. Biden sniffs people's children. Okay. That's just really, really weird stuff. But Trump hits on their own child. So, I mean, they're both really, really, really wrong. But I think the sniffing other people's children is like a little bit less bad than you actually sexualizing and hitting on your own child. Like, I mean, first of all, it's an old granny. Like, and I don't know, but plenty of people go around smelling newborn babies, and like it's like, I don't know. I'm not sure about the exact situation. It's creepy either way, but I'm just saying I think that hitting on your own child is a way over the line more. So. Canada Spaceman says Trump is the lesser of evils. Like I said, I completely disagree. Trump actually has all of these people deceived, whereas Biden doesn't. Like, Biden's really not a threat, because at the end of the day, how many people think that Biden is from God? I can't name any. I don't even think any Biden supporters think that Biden's from God, but Trump supporters are completely deluded into the Trump everything, and it makes me want to vomit. Bobby says Trump is another actor, politician. Yes, politician or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, I am going to head out of here. I've been sitting at Charlotte's table for like an hour now, so I will be back on Wednesday at 3:33, and I have a clear schedule, so I will be able to stay on for a while, and I'm really excited about it. I wanted to share with you the rules of Inanna and chess, so make sure that you tune in. I'll try to post a thing to my community page to let you know that I'm going live, just so that you get a notification. But if you don't, then just make sure that you stay tuned Wednesday at 3:33 p.m. PST. It's very simple to remember. Just do it, okay? And be there. And until then, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the weekend and next few days. May God and the Goddess bless you.